All right, this meeting is called to order at 7:02 PM. Good evening, this is a regular meeting of the Ferndale Schools Board of Education being held on Monday, March 20th, 2023. Our meeting is being video recorded and will be posted on the Ferndale Schools YouTube channel. All meetings in the Ferndale Schools are held in public in compliance with the Open Meetings Act. Printed documents discussed in tonight's meeting are available to the public upon request, with the exception of any information protected by student or employee privacy rights. Board meeting information is posted on our website at www.ferndaleschools.org. If you do not have internet access or need information, please contact the board offices at 248-586-8652 by Thursday of the week prior to the meeting, and the district staff will do their best to work with you. Roll call, Ms. Shepherd.
Here.
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 Here. Thank you. Item 1.2, approval of the agenda. After review of the agenda, are there any items that anyone wants to update? Then without objection and with unanimous consent, the agenda is approved. Item 2, student reps. Doesn't look like they're here. Item 3, presentation of building, Ferndale Early Childhood Center.
We're jumping right in today. I apologize, I'm fighting a cold, so if I start coughing and have to take more drink, we have another friend. Is there a clicker, or should I just motion when it needs to be moved?
It's me.
Okay.
Yeah, gotcha.
Thumbs up. Great. Hi, Henry. Good evening, and for those of you that don't know, I am Heidi Schmidt, the director at Ferndale Early Childhood Center, and I am pleased to be here tonight to share all the great work that we've done this year and that we have planned for the future that is in line with the district's strategic plan. So moving forward, first starting with environment. The first objective that we really focused on this year was to recruit, retain, and support highly qualified, diverse staff with excellence and accountability that is tied to practice and the direction of the district. It's no secret that education is struggling with staffing issues during this time, and early childhood is not exempt from that. We have definitely been struggling staffing-wise, but we've put our brains together to kind of pick different and unique ways to not only recruit staff, but also want people to be interested in early childhood and come and stay with us. So one of our action items was to use a variety of resources to recruit staff. And one of the things that we put in place this year was a partnership with TCEC and PR Early Education. So PR Early Education is a business that offers early childhood education training. So they offer programs to obtain CDAs, or Childhood Development Associates. And what we've been able to do with sponsorship from Oakland Schools is get TCEC students sponsored, and we've been able to pay for their schooling through PR Early Ed to obtain their CDA. While they're going through that, hours, just like student teaching, are required. So they get their hours right at Ferndale Early Childhood Center. And then we have an opportunity to hire these individuals once they are complete with their education. So we just started that. We had TCEC students starting just on March 6th in the CDA program, and just today in the building we had our first sub from the program. So I am excited to see what that brings, not only for Ferndale Early Childhood Center, but for the TCEC students as well. Another partnership that we did this year that brought us exposure to other qualified candidates for our programs is that we at the Ferndale Early Childhood Center transition to another sub-source other than ASOP and EduStaff. We've partnershiped with ECE SubHub, which is the same company that provides early childhood subs only. So these subs that walk into our building from ECE SubHub are trained in early childhood, are aware of best practices in early childhood, and when they walk into our building, they are helpful, they are present, and they also provide us with individuals that are eager to go into the field of early childhood, and we're able to build that connection and partnership as well. The next thing under environment is maintaining fiscal sustainability. And one of our action items was to explore opportunities for alternative funding sources. And the one thing I want to focus on tonight is our partnership and interaction with Donors Choose this last year. We have a building Donors Choose ambassador, which is an expert in Donors Choose and one that kind of acts as a cheerleader for educators to really know what's available, how you can create projects that are going to be successful in being funded. We have had 63 projects fully funded this year for a total of $28,059. And as you know, obviously, environment, excellence, empowerment, they all go together, and a lot of this intertwines. So I will be more than happy to tell you about what that $28,000 went towards moving forward. Moving toward to excellence. The first objective under excellence is to develop and evolve our curriculum and assessments to ensure that high-quality instruction for students while reducing the achievement gap. Our action item is to maintain ongoing practices of current curriculum standards and best practices in early childhood education. So we have continued staff development and professional learning and really focusing on training the trainers. So sending and building capacity of our staff to go to a training and come back with the knowledge and the expertise and the ability and resources to train the staff that we have on hand. Some examples of that we've done this year have been essential instructional practices in early literacy. We sent 2 staff members away to a training, and they have been doing all building trainings focusing on the instructional practices of early literacy. And then the National Training Institute of Effective Practices addressing challenging behaviors. Myself, our grant program coordinator, and our building social worker are attending a conference focusing on the pyramid model, which you can see to the right is really reflective of what we're doing district-wide, having Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 instruction, starting from the bottom up in preschool. And then also learning how to utilize a new tool called the Teapot, which is the Teaching Pyramid Observation Tool. And that allows us to go into a classroom if a teacher reports there's a challenging behavior, and go in and be able to do an assessment, an observation, and identify if it is an issue or a challenge within the environment, or if it is something that we need to focus on instructionally and with the adults in the classroom, which is huge. So we are going to that training in April, and we're really excited to bring that back to the staff next year and looking at our environment and how we're dealing with these challenging behaviors. Next, under excellence, the objective is to engage students in equitable, authentic, and relevant learning while promoting global citizenship and fostering lifelong critical thinking with boundless creativity. So one of the action items in the early childhood environment is to regularly assess and rotate classroom materials to provide novelty and strengthen the learning environment. So when you get to K-12, and not so much the lower elementary, but when you get in the upper grades, it's very easy for children to walk into a class with their textbook, their notebook, and be ready to learn. In early childhood, and even kindergarten, first, second, A lot of that novelty and learning comes from hands-on materials, and that means that you can't have the same materials in the classroom from the minute they walk in the classroom in September till they leave in June. You have to switch it up. You have to provide novelty and excitement. So one of the things we focused on was creating a school-wide materials lending library. That $28,000 amount that I mentioned, some has even gone towards this. And Dr. Goodwin, if you want to click on that, I have just an example. Oh, Ms. Camille, thank you. So what we have created is a lending library of materials. And if you scroll down, we have access to multiple different items that teachers may want to switch out of a classroom for different areas of learning. We've got things for literacy, for fine motor, gross motor, mathematics, literature, all of that, just to add novelty and excitement to the classroom. So this catalog right here that you're looking at is ever-changing, but teachers are able to access it and then put in their request. I want to check out this for small group next week. I want to check out this for large group next week. And it really adds to just the different materials that the teachers are able to put in and out of the classroom and be able to, you know, enhance the curriculum that we have. So, lots of fun stuff. And our last one for excellence, the objective is to make certain that all students are placed in programs based on their readiness levels that provide equitable opportunities for achievement and growth. So one of the action items that we really wanted to prioritize is reviewing and updating our building policies and procedures on placement, prioritization, and recruitment to ensure equitable opportunities for program enrollment. So in our building, we do have Head Start and GSRP, which are grant-funded programs that very much so tell us how we can enroll, who's going to qualify. But we've had this ever-growing tuition-based program of Little Eagles. And this year we made the change during enrollment that we wanted to update the process. One, to prioritize our district residents that were coming through. So that is something that was put into place. Two, to prioritize the families that were looking for those full-time schedules. Not the half-day schedules, not necessarily the 3-day schedules, but those families that were looking for the 5 full-day schedules to prepare their children for moving forward. We have changed the process to be completely online. In the years past, and some of you may know, the process was somewhat of standing in line for concert tickets, and then getting up to the door and finding they were sold out. So we've kind of reworked that to make sure that families weren't standing there and wasting their time necessarily. So we've made it easier for families. And then we've also focused on really making sure that we communicate the GSRP opportunity based on age and updated income requirements. So GSRP and the state have changed the income guidelines. They have increased, which means a lot of families that would never and have never qualified for free programs have the opportunity to attend a free preschool. So we're making sure that we're communicating with families that that's another option if you're interested in preschool and if you want to see if you qualify for that. So that is what we're working on to make sure that students are placed in the program that is the best fit for them and their families as well. On to empowerment. Our first objective was fostering a positive culture within the school environment by focusing on proactive and restorative strategies while addressing challenging behaviors in a consistent manner through cohesive policies and practices. So one thing that we wanted to do at FECC was strengthen the use of common language that was being used building-wide, while maintaining coherence with every other building in the district. So we wanted to develop a common language as a team. what students are hearing in the hallway, what they're hearing in the gym, what they're hearing in the classroom should be consistent. At 3, 4, and 5 years old, we don't need to confuse them with different expectations and different language. So as a staff, we have voted. Moving forward and on to next year, we're going to be focusing on the 3 pillars: kind, safe, and respectful. So at FECC, we are kind, we are safe, we are respectful. So those are going to turn into universal expectations. What does that look like in the media center? What does it look like in the bathrooms? What does it look like in the gym, in the classrooms, in the hallway, in the playground? And we're going to work together to, 1, decide what that language is going to be, but 2, create visuals and social stories so that every classroom is sharing the same thing. When we go to the gym, this is what it looks like to be safe. This is what it looks like to be kind, to be respectful. So that is what we're working on and ready to go for next year. Forward. The next objective is to create a multifaceted and evolving communication system that allows stakeholders access to timely and relevant district information while engaging the interests of volunteers and businesses. So this year we changed from, we have used Seesaw in the past. We still utilize Remind when it's coming building-wide from myself. But typically the classrooms are utilizing our Caneboo system, which is directly tied to CORE, which is our assessment system. So families are getting daily updates, pictures, storyboards, not only on the day-to-day things like Remember Tomorrow's Picture Day, but also on, this is what we worked in during small group. This is what it looks like, but these are the KDIs, or the key developmental indicators, that we were focusing on. And this is how play turns into learning when you're in an early childhood education classroom. So on those pictures, you can see a screenshot of a storyboard on the left, which has pictures and explanations of what's happening, and then different core posts that teachers may do where they will tag students in the KDI that was happening. So in time communication with families as a whole, but also one-on-one on their students' progress. Continuing with empowerment, the objective is to expand upon opportunities that examine, motivate, and ensure physical, mental, and nutritional health and overall wellness for students, families, and staff members. So we're going to continue to partner with community organizations to foster physical, mental, and nutritional health and overall wellness of the school family. 2 new things that we're doing this year. We have a partnership with the Oakland Health Department that is doing on-site lead testing for our students, and that's actually happening this year. We've had a great deal of families that are interested in having it done, and they're going to be doing that right at pickup on Wednesday for families, and then our nutritionist and our nurse for Head Start are in the thick of planning an early childhood wellness fair before school starts next year. So we're looking for something that early childhood families can come to and get the lead testing, get the hearing testing, get the vision testing, get any other resources that they may need. Dentist Russ will be there. Just a place that families can come and get resources or get services that they need before we start school. And then finally, we have educating our community on all programs and opportunities within Ferndale Public Schools. And one focus area is to strengthen and grow community partnerships. Our newest one this year is a community partnership with New Horizons. New Horizons is a community agency that works with individuals that have a disability that are working to find an area that interests them, that they can find meaning in and can possibly get employment in. We have started this relationship and it has been phenomenal for our building. Up on there, we've got our main volunteer, Mr. Dan. He comes Mondays and Thursdays with the students. He is in half of our classrooms. He is engaging with the students. He is helping the teachers. He is so happy to be in this environment that we just love having him. So we've started that relationship to open our doors to individuals that want to know if working with early childhood and education is something that they might want to pursue in the future.
Heidi, which location of New Horizons are we working with? Is it in Novi?
Royal Oak?
Oh, Royal Oak,
Is
okay.
there one? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Perfect. With that being said, I am going to introduce to you our FECC Donors Choose Ambassador, Ms. Shelby Bond. She is the lead teacher in classroom number 5, and she is going to share with you a theme that they did in their classroom, a project that they focused on that was largely funded by projects from Donors Choose. So the floor is yours, guys.
Oh, it was only this one. So as Heidi said, my name is Shelby Bond, and I am a lead Little Eagles teacher at FECC. And one of my most recent Donors Choose projects was Space Adventures in Pre-K. Do the next. I have a few quotes up here that I kind of feel like go with FECC as a whole and what we are doing. We have play is the work of children. Play gives children a chance to practice what they are learning. Children need the freedom and time to play. Play is not a luxury, it is a necessity. And school can never be always predictable. We need to be open to what takes place and able to change our plans and go with what might grow at that very moment, both inside the child and inside ourselves. The other ones. On this slide, I got to move closer to you guys. This is our dramatic play area for space, and with the project, we got telescopes, we had costumes, a large felt storyboard. With dramatic play, they learn conflict resolution, problem solving, literacy skills, self-empowerment, and creativity and imagination. And this one right here should be a video in the bottom right corner. Just a little clip of them. We were fixing the ship. Another area where I received things this project was for sensory play. We received like a space water bead set, spacemen figures, more planet figures, and through sensory play they learn creativity, problem solving, fine motor skills, and math and literacy skills. And I have with me just a few little examples, my little mini versions. Oh yes. That you can see what we are doing. So this one are little water beads, which are just fun to play with. And this one was to catch shooting stars, and it had tweezers and little, the stars that you put on your ceiling for them to collect.
Cute.
Did you get one?
I would like to. I'm trying to be good.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm too excited.
Examples of art and writing. We have, like, in our dramatic play area, we see they're doing space sketches, and they were measuring and weighing moon rocks, rockets with their names, we made constellations, painted with marbles, and then built shooting stars.
Perfect.
Can you pass that around?
Right.
Where there's
So, like, how'd that go? My kids are addicted to Orbeez. They're so contagious. Orbeez. Yes. Okay, got my fix. Thank you.
That's how much I moved after. Well, you know.
That's how much. This much. And that's how long it is. Please.
First, we gotta start with our countdown, right? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! Zoom, 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 zoom. We're going to the moon. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We'll get there very soon. If you wanna take a trip, climb aboard my rocket ship. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. Way to go, baby.
So good.
Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Shelby or myself? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I get it. That's what I'm looking like.
Thank you,
Make a
Little
run
Eagles.
for it.
Is it really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm surprised they're not melting down.
That's why I'm happy that I have an uncle.
That brings
Great
us-
job, guys.
Good job. Thank you.
Thank you. You did so good.
That brings us to item 4, public comments. This is a time for public participation in the meeting. The Board of Education intends for the public to have many opportunities to address the board and administration of their school district. These include email, phone calls, face-to-face meetings, community gatherings, public hearings, and other public meetings. We welcome individual and group input into the important issues that confront our schools. As noted at the top of the agenda, this is a meeting of the Public School Board, open to the public. We want to provide fair and impartial guidelines for participation as required by the Open Meetings Act, and to encourage transparency and equal treatment for everyone in attendance. We also recognize that an effective meeting facilitates better decisions and promotes openness by allowing more people to stay for the full length of the meeting. To meet these goals, please note the following. We ask that you identify yourself and list contact information on a comment sheet to help administrators follow up with you on your comment. If you do not wish to do so in writing, please identify yourself at the podium, and if you need a response, please provide contact information with an administrator after the meeting. I will call on people who have completed comment sheets first. Each person will have an opportunity to address the board for up to 3 minutes. Comments or questions should be directed to the board president. Treasurer Turner will raise his hand when your time is within a few seconds of expiring. This period of public comments is for both non-agenda items and issues that are on the agenda. Public comments will end at the close of this part of the agenda. In the event that the number of people wishing to comment requires longer than 30 minutes, public comment will be temporarily postponed after 30 minutes, and time will be added to the end of the meeting for those who do not get a chance to speak. Complaints about staff should be made outside of board meetings and should follow the applicable board policy. Please contact the superintendent's office if you have any questions regarding this item. The board cannot respond to complaints about employees in public. This is meant to promote the fairness to the staff and the complainant. The Ferndale Public Schools community acts with great civility toward one another. Please help us maintain that tradition during public comment. 3 minutes.
Okay.
So I have 2 comment sheets. The first one is Alex Lanks.
Hi, good evening.
Hello.
Thanks for your time. My name's Alex Lenko, Pleasant Ridge resident, lifelong resident, alum of Roosevelt Elementary. Just want to introduce myself as the Pleasant Ridge City Commission liaison. I've been working with Robert of late, and I appreciate having Robert. It's great help, and he's awesome. Wanted to convey a success story. He came to our last City Commission meeting to introduce himself. One of our residents had an interesting school idea, and we were able to connect the dots. So I just wanted to share we're off to a great start. Introduce myself, make myself available to all of you, just kind of as a bridge builder, liaison between the 2 groups, to help convey, communicate, whatever else, but I'm here to help. And then finally, one thing Robert did mention is potential coffee hours, et cetera. So I just wanted to offer and volunteer at the Pleasant Ridge Rec Center at no cost, like just in intergovernmental agencies, it's always no cost. So like, if that happens to be a venue you're interested in, you're welcome to it. So anyways, that's all I got. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then Alicia Chun.
Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. My name is Alicia Chun. My daughter is a kindergartner at Lower Elementary School. And I came here to address a matter that happened on February 28th. She was supposed to stay after school for an after-school program, and she was let off the bus to nobody, and it was a weather advisory. She was left to walk home, fend for herself on her way home. And thank God she made it there. My mom was there to retrieve her, but it did take the school 30 minutes to even notify me. And since this situation has even occurred, I did ask to be kept in the loop as far as what was going on. Transportation has not issued an apology, has not returned a phone call, or followed up with me in regards to the matter. I did speak to the principal. My last talk with her, it happened on February 28th. My last conversation with her, that was a Monday, was that Tuesday, and she told me she would keep me in the loop. Have not heard from her, and that's 3 weeks as of tomorrow. I also did speak with Dr. Goodman. I was in the hospital the day Dr. Goodman called. We had a brief discussion, and I did ask for a follow-up then in regards to what was going on moving forward. And I know time gets away from us, but I've yet to receive a call back from her as well. And I don't know what's being implemented to prevent this from happening. And to piggyback on, as we all can imagine, a 5-year-old having to walk home 3 blocks away, crossing over a street that's 25 miles per hour with not a parent or anybody in sight to make sure she made it home safely. You can imagine where my frustration is. And not to even bring up the subject, but to bring it up, this is the second time that my family has been, showed negligence as far as the community. My niece was the one that was killed at that school back in 2007. So obviously we can see why it's so triggering, but I just want accountability at this point. The only person that has acknowledged my daughter for when it happened was her teacher, and her teacher was very apologetic, and I told her teacher from day one, we're human, we make mistakes, She slipped past your hands. She was supposed to be at the after-school activity that day. She slipped past the hands of her teacher and was put on the bus. Okay, she should have been stopped. That bus should have been rerouted, went back to the school, and I should have been notified. And not a 30-minute window saying, it shows Navy's supposed to be at the YMCA, but transportation says they don't have her. By chance, did you pick her up? Imagine getting that phone call. Please, but again, me being here is to bring awareness to the situation and see what's going to happen going forward. I was told early on that a meeting was going to be taking in place with transportation, and they were to itemize the receipts, itemize the list for the after-school activity so it can't get slipped up. But no further comment or anything has been issued to me or even to my daughter. And I feel if I'm not owed an apology, my child who had to walk 7 minutes home by herself in 29-degree weather when it was icy rain is owed an apology. And that's it.
May I ask a clarifying question? Just have a question. Trying to do this within protocol. My update was the principal reached out and gave you the new changes in the after-school protocol and in the bus tags. Did that not occur?
The bus tag has always been there, so I don't know what the updated policy with the bus tags were. My last conversation with her, are we allowed to speak on that matter because she's not here? Yes.
No,
No.
we'll talk.
Yeah, just if you could just follow up with me, you know, I was just bringing awareness to the situation because I haven't heard back from anybody, and it's been 3 weeks. And if you can recall our discussion, I did ask, you know, I asked you to give me a call back an hour after I was in the hospital. You did state you had a meeting. I said, okay, well, follow up with me, just keep me in the loop. That's all I asked. I am the most understanding parent that I know, given the circumstance, what happened with my family in the past. Out of all my siblings, I'm the youngest of 7. They're mad at me that I'm this calm, you know, like y'all not making it up for me. But in the same sense, you know, I'm trying to make peace with everything, you know. And I just feel like, you know, it's being swept under the rug, and it's not fair, you know, like, it's not fair at all. So, I just need answers, and like I said, you know, in regards to her about the bus tag, there was a bus tag on her book tag visible. I got a picture of it when she came home to make sure it was dangling out there and it was yellow and it implied that she was in kindergarten. That shouldn't have been left off the bus. And I will say it was a substitute driver. Let me make that clear. It wasn't her regular. You know, I don't want to drag anybody in that sense, but.
So we have your contact info, so
Yes.
someone will definitely follow up with you.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else here for public comments? Public comment is now closed, which brings us to item 5, consent agenda. Please note that all action items being voted on tonight were discussed in depth at the Committee of the Whole meeting held on Monday, March 6th at 6 p.m. We invite and encourage community members to attend our Committee of the Whole meetings, which are also open to the public. So, item 5.1, request to approve minutes of the special meeting, Committee of the Whole, February 13th, 2023. Item 5.2, request to approve minutes of regular meeting, February 27th, 2023. Item 5.3, request to approve new hires, resignations, and transfers. Item 5.4, request to approve bills and accounts for February. And item 5.5, request approval of the Head Start Director's report. Would anyone like to remove anything from the consent agenda? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Moved by Sarah, seconded by Jonathan. Roll call, Ms. Shepherd.
Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you. With 5 yes votes, the motion passes and the consent agenda is approved. Item 6, action items. Item 6.1, request to approve Juul settlement resolution.
So greetings, per your specialty packet, which contained, as you read, some privileged information, confidential information related to, we are a part of a national lawsuit against the makers of vape products, basically. We are still involved in the lawsuit. One of the manufacturers has agreed to settle. You received the settlement amount that we would receive. We are not allowed to disclose that. Our counsel, Troon Law Firm, prepared a summary for us in which they strongly recommend that we do accept the settlement, which pulls them out. We are still currently in litigation with the other vape companies as a part, those who have not participated, but it would, as you know, as stated in the resolution, it would prevent us from further pursuing litigation against that particular vape manufacturer.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the item 6.1, request to approve Juul's settlement resolution.
I'll move.
Moved by Jonathan,
Second.
seconded by Peter. Any discussion on the motion? Roll call, Ms. Shepherd?
Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you. With 5 yes votes, the motion passes, and item 6.1, request to approve Juul settlement resolution is approved. Item 6.2, request to approve the track and field construction.
So, I know we went over this at the committee of the whole meeting a couple weeks ago. The only quick update I wanted to give you is after some additional discussion, we did include the additional pad under the turf in this recommendation. It just seemed like if we could afford it, it was the best way to move forward for the athletes.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve item 6.2, the request to approve track and field construction.
I'll move.
Moved by Jonathan,
Second.
seconded by Peter. Any discussion on the motion?
I appreciate you adding the pad to it. That was, I think when we discussed it, the biggest thing was just that safety one's gonna be best for any of the athletes or students using it,
Yeah,
so.
I mean, it seemed like a no-brainer, so.
It also looks better. The one looked like,
The different
it
turf
looked like
looks
kale
better and feels
versus
nicer.
grass, which
Mm.
ours looks like.
Roll call, Ms. Shepherd?
Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you. With 5 yes votes, the motion passes, and item 6.2, request to approve the track and field construction is approved. Item 7, superintendent's update.
There's a lot going on, and out in the district, we have been extraordinarily busy. Last week of school before spring break, but today I'm pleased to have Ms. Faison come up, I believe, and introduce our new assistant superintendent for operations eventually. She begins April 3rd. But because we already have her working, we thought it would be a good idea for the board to meet her.
Thank you, Dr. Goodrum. Again, hello, I'm Terry Faison, Director of Human Resources. And again, as you know, we have been steady in staffing mode, but it's actually, I'm smiling because we're getting some great additions to our team and really building our team with lots of experience. I am very excited to introduce Felicia Wright. I'll ask you to come up, and she'll tell you a little bit about herself and her background and why we're so excited to get her on our team.
Thank you so much. Good evening, Honorable Board and Superintendent Dr. Goodrum. Thank you so much for having me this evening. I'm Felicia Wright. I will be serving as your Assistant Superintendent of Operations. I've been doing this work for 23 years now. Hard to believe, but 23 years goes by really fast when you're having fun. I'm extremely excited to join your team. I had the opportunity of touring the Lower L school building, which is absolutely fabulous. I'm so excited for the children and the staff once they see the building complete. I've worked previously in other school districts, Detroit being the longest for 20 years, and Ferndale Public Schools, and currently I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Southfield Public Schools, so I'll be leaving there. But thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of your team.
Thank you
Yes.
for being the person who's going to take those 3 a.m. phone calls very soon. I am over it.
Happily do it, Dr. Goodrum. And I had an opportunity to speak with Ms. John, too. I'm going to talk to her.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you and welcome.
Yep.
All right. Item 8, informational items. 8.1, budget to actual report.
Hello. That is the budget to actual for February 2023. Does anyone have any questions?
Sorry, I thought it was more numbers.
Yeah, no,
Apologies.
go back down to the letters.
I think we were reading the letters.
Sorry.
Item 8.2, Elio presentation.
Thank you.
So we are always, good evening, we are always excited to share strong partnerships, and Leo has been a partnership we've had with Oakland Schools for quite some time now. I'm going to hand it over to our curriculum coordinator, Tawanya Robinson, who has been the lead central office administrator that's been supporting our work with Leo, to share updates on our progress.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So LEO stands for Literacy Essentials Oakland, and it's just a partnership that we have with Oakland Schools, and many other districts within Oakland County has this partnership. And it just focuses mainly on helping us look at our district systems and our leadership and coaching so that we can improve and just have a culture of literacy within our district. And we've been a part of this partnership for 3 years now, and we have a fully funded coach. The state has funded a coach, Tracy Yaks. I'm sure you all know who she is, and she's over at Lower. She wanted to be here today, but they're having a reading, a reading fair, so she's over there working. She organized the whole thing. So we're very thankful to have her, and each year we do a yearly intake at the beginning of the school year, just to set expectations for what the district will do, what the county will do to support us. And here are just some of the benefits of participating in LEO. It's because we really are looking at our systems as a district to see where we can improve district-wide with our literacy practices, and just what practices should we be doing in the classrooms to really improve our literacy progress, because we know we've been looking at the data and we want to make some improvements. So all of this flows together to support that, and we just really take a close look at what we're doing and the outcomes and whether or not we're improving, because quarterly we complete like a outcomes thing, and it has different markers that you're trying to make sure you reach as a district, and we're just looking at that quarterly just to make improvements to make sure we are where we need to be. And one of the main things that we're doing is to just try to create mirrors for students where they can look at themselves within our literacy, and also windows where they can look at others and learn from others to expand upon what they already know. And we have a leadership team, a literacy leadership team, and these are the members of the leadership team. We made sure we have teachers included, the literacy coach, reading specialist, and also central office, and the building admin, just to make sure we have a good mix of people who are at the table when we're looking at literacy and thinking about where we need to go and what changes we need to make. And this year we created a literacy vision statement, and this is what we came up with, and you can just read that. I won't read it to you, you can see. And this is our literacy leadership team literacy vision statement. And one of the main things we wanted to do was create continuity across our schools. It's mainly K through 5 that we're working with. The LEO project is really K-3. It came about because of the Read by Grade 3 law that was, but of course we want our 4th and 5th grade teachers to be using the same practices as well. So we do include them as well. And one of the big rocks that we focused on this year is Tier 1 small group instruction, and that's included in each of the schools' MyKIP goal. At Lower and Fuel, we came up with our vision statement. We have common slides that we share at every staff meeting just to make sure everyone within the schools are on the same page and we're all looking at the same. We have the same goal, and we're looking at that constantly.
no different than we have a strategic plan on everything. We also have all of our big rocks, and this is one of them. And we do professional learning sessions for the staff. One big thing that we've added this year is just doing walkthroughs, popping into the classrooms, really seeing what's going on, how's the small group instruction going, where can we improve, and that helps us know what we need to do as central office to help support the teachers better, so that we have outcomes that we want for our students. And also we give staff surveys so that we're hearing from everyone. We know we have staff on the team, but we want to hear from everyone, so we also give them surveys about it, about the implementation, about small group instruction, what else do they need to know, how can we improve, how can we better serve them.
Do you have any examples of stuff you've noticed or heard from staff that you've been able to respond to?
Yes, the main thing is they feel like this year they have learned a lot more about small group instruction, but they want more concrete examples of what they can do with their students. So that's something that we're building for next year. We're using all the data that we're getting this year to help build out our professional learning for next year. All of the ahas, there's like, okay, they need more support in this area. So that's what we have been noticing, and the great thing is Oakland Schools is going to join us tomorrow for a leadership lab walk. So they're going to walk around the schools with us at lower and upper and go and look at small group instructions, and then we'll debrief with them and they can get us their insight, because we've been doing it internally as a district, but now we're going to expand it and invite Oakland Schools in. So we're really excited about that tomorrow. And this is just a common slide that we do use at the elementary buildings, just to show, and it has our vision statement on there. It has what our big rock is, what we're really focusing on, that small group instruction, and really the literacy coach as well, because we really want to get the teachers to using that literacy coach so that she's doing coaching cycles with the teachers to help them improve their practice. So that's really been a big push of ours as well this school year.
Yeah, I just want to emphasize the coaching cycles and the work of having, one literacy coach for K-5 and the challenges that presents just with, one teacher. And Tracy, I just can't sing her praises enough, has just been great about it and created systems and structures that make the most sense so that she can provide support to all teachers at some point throughout the school year. And she's just done a great job with that, providing true coaching instead of just like a pop-in once a year. There's true coaching that's taking place at lower and upper. We're really excited about that.
And it's very powerful when she gets in there and can actually work with a teacher through a coaching cycle and help them and be their thought partner through issues they may be having, support they may need. And these are some of the things that Tracy does. She goes to a lot of professional learning. She has so much knowledge because she's always at meetings with Oakland Schools, with MBE. She's presented at the state level, and she facilitates professional learning. She does coaching cycles. She works with the principals, looking at the data, and and a million more things, like today, leading that initiative today. But these are just some of the things that she does as our literacy coach. And one of the things the team does is we attend monthly meetings, 5 different sessions throughout the school year at Oakland Schools. And that's what we really build upon our district systems and improve them and get training in our leadership with literacy. And like I mentioned earlier, we're having a leadership learning lab that we're participating in, and just thinking about our system-wide implementation and practices around literacy. And some of the highlights, just that small group instruction, that's getting the teachers in front of every single student, having touch points with those students in small group sessions instead of just whole group. They have small groups every single day, and they're not only having small groups for the students who are struggling the most. They're having that one-on-one, that small group FaceTime with all of their students every single day. So that is really strong. So we're really happy about that. We're proud about that, and we're going to build upon it. And they're progress monitoring the students more often, so that if there are students struggling, they are giving them, they're monitoring where they are, they're seeing what else they may which is getting a lot of knowledge and helping teachers support the literacy instruction district-wide. And the next steps, like you were asking before, what are we seeing in those surveys? We're really analyzing that data and thinking about what implications does that have on our work? How might our work look differently next year based upon the feedback that we're getting from teachers this year, and just continuing to strengthen that tier 1 literacy instruction so that we can improve some of the outcomes that students have and continuing that partnership with open schools. And with that said, if you have any questions about Leo?
This might part of my ignorance as the new person. So is Leo focused specifically on coaching literacy in the gen ed setting, or is it cross gen ed, special ed?
It is everyone within the district.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, yeah. But that is something that we have talked about, that we want
Right.
to make sure a special ed person is on that literacy leadership team.
Yes.
So thank you for that.
Great. Thank you.
And so we invite you to talk to, when you're in lower, upper, ask them about small group instruction, ask about, the work with Tracy as their literacy coach. We will be very excited. Well, hopefully they'll be telling you lots of great things that are happening in both those areas. And I just want to, before we close out, just shout out Taiwania as the point person and the support for all of this. I mean, everywhere we go, where they're singing Taiwania's praises, her leadership with the Leo work, and just literacy in general in the K-5 space. And just very, very excited about her work and her leadership, and want to give you all the shine right now publicly. She doesn't like it, but she's going to get it today. And just thank you, Taiwania, for all your work. It's been great. Thank you. She's like, I'm going to sit down now. I'm like, nope, that's enough.
Thank you.
Thank you, Taiwania.
All right, that brings us to item 9, consideration of any pulled consent agenda items. We had none. Item 10, our next committee of the whole meeting is Monday, April 10th at 6 p.m. Item 11, next regular board meeting, Monday, April 17th at 7 p.m. Item 12, Eagles Points of Pride or comments. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first. I would say my biggest point of pride was being able to see the development of the new elementary school today. I'm sorry.
Every time.
But just seeing like how amazing the school is going to be and how accessible the school is. I think that's the biggest one for me. It's just the bathrooms. Like I feel like that's like the biggest win that's in my mind of seeing today, of just being able to do so much, not only for our students, but for our staff as well. And just knowing that, just being able to see how much more empowerment we can put into our students with such a better learning space. I'm just very excited to see the end result, and wanted to give a big shout out to not only the workers that have been building our amazing school, but every single person that has been a part of the planning. So, go team.
I'm gonna jump in.
Oh, Mary.
Sarah, were you ready?
No, you can go ahead, Mary.
There seemed to be applause. So I want to do 100%. The first shout out has to be to the middle school PTO parents who pulled off the St. Patrick's Day school dance. Unfortunately, because of another commitment, my daughter could not participate, but I heard great things about it. So kudos to everybody involved. Also, a big shout out to everyone involved in Your Good Man, Charlie Brown. Special shout out to all the parents I saw going up and down Pinecrest, dropping kids off and picking kids up. And it's quite a schedule. It's quite a commitment. It's a commitment for faculty and staff. It's a commitment for kids and parents. So we see you, parents. We see you behind the wheel of that car on the night you don't want to be there. And lastly, the Ferndale Winter Guard is in the height of their season. They had a great, really amazing show in Troy on Sunday. That they compete again this weekend. If you haven't had a chance to see them, I encourage you to try to see them or to watch them online. It's a beautiful performance, and they're representing the school really well. So those are my shout outs.
I'm gonna try to sneak in before, yeah. Although Jonathan took, yeah. Same, I was, from before I got on the board, had been involved with the bond a lot, and the new lore was like something I very much look forward to. And so being able to walk through the building and see the walls up and see the classroom sizes and see it all coming together is like, it is so amazing. Yeah, I had a smile on my face from the second we walked in. It was so cool. So I'm very excited. It's fun to see everyone that is involved with all the planning who they're excited about it and they can't wait to get everybody into the building. I think that our community is going to really enjoy the space. And it's bringing the district and the schools, into commonizing more of what we do from one to another. So just appreciate everybody that's been working on the building, all the planning, everything that goes into it. Yeah, I can't wait. So I'm very excited there. I want to piggyback, same thing of the middle school, high school PTO has been doing some awesome stuff, and I'm super happy to see that with just getting the kids involved from their dance to, if anybody caught the 90s karaoke night was a ton of fun. So just lots of that. So just kudos to, again, the community for kind of rallying around those kids and giving them things to do. Boys basketball team that has been doing amazing, and I got one. So I'm hoping to be able to make it if I don't have my own littles basketball games to be going to, but hopefully be able to make it to those, and if anybody else can make it out, strongly encourage you to. They are a ton of fun to go to those games and do that. And then same thing, all the theater and stuff. Just very excited about also that's been going on in the district and seeing everybody out again. Sorry, Bob.
It's okay, because I can say that the game is tomorrow at Lake Orion.
I don't know all the exact times yet.
Oh, no. I apologize, Peter. You can say that now if you want to.
The game's at.
Because I have more.
Like Orion. Real quick, my addition for the musical shout out is I was blown away by how young this cast was. Mm-hmm. Wow, how exciting for our theater department. A strong cast, a young cast. That was really cool to see as a theater alum. I want to shout out the UHS Black Excellence Celebration. Amazing artwork, amazing poetry, really fun, and for some of us, humbling activity as well, to check your knowledge. It was really cool, and some alumni shout outs too. Really cool to see that put on there. Proud of our students there. Also want to shout out our PTO and PTAs across the board, specifically for what they've been doing for our staff this year, what they've been doing for our teachers. Mm-hmm. I've heard it's been really making a difference, and just can't thank our parents enough for coming together on behalf of our staff. And I think that's it.
I think that was it. Every single thing. No, again, the energy of the middle high school PTO is amazing, especially considering that it has basically been rejuvenated this year, and it took a minute, but they really got off the ground running. Mm-hmm. I think I can say I'm the only person who actually was at the middle school, the middle school St. Patrick's Day dance, even though I was only there for 30 seconds because it was very hot and it smelled like outside. And so, it was very middle schooly in that gym. During the time, but the kids looked like they had an amazing time. So, yes, our boys play at Lake Orion High School tomorrow. If they win tomorrow, Then they will be at Breslin Friday. So as we, the state championships are this weekend. And I hear we have a great shot. So yes, if you can attend the game, still, cheer on the Mighty Eagles as they approach hopefully a state championship. Also, the combined symphony band last week, I think they received all ones, a superior ranking. I think there was one, two. But they received a superior ranking last weekend as well. Do you know where Winter Guard is performing Sunday?
I think Chippewa Valley.
Okay. The thing that has been so amazing to me is that we are highly competitive in the arts and athletics and academics, and still manage to really place the SEL, the social emotional needs of our students at the forefront. So Ferndale is an amazing place, and all of our students are doing a great deal of amazing things, and it's hard to keep up. It's just like every day there's another email about something fantastic that our students are doing, and we're really proud of that. Our students, our staff, and our family are all fantastic.
All right, so I think you guys have all covered all the shout-outs, so I appreciate you all. I'm just gonna say that we are rolling into a break week, and it's the one thing I say every time we're rolling into a break, it's a break. Take a break. Everyone should take a break, rest, relax, and recharge. So that's for parents, staff, it's for everyone. It's a break. Take the time and enjoy it. Unplug if you can. And we are adjourned at 8:09.